just right now, you know, I'm seriously pissed off with it.
Welcome back, everyone, to the mission across Scotland. You join lovable rogues Welsh Greg and I in a remote forest clearing 8 miles into a gruelling expedition across Scotland, which we were hoping to be the first known people to cross in a completely straight line. Although only a fifth of the way through the mission, we're actually in a very good place, having already winged our way through quite a populated and obstacle-laden leg of the journey the day before. In complete contrast, and quite gladly so, today couldn't be more different. Morning, everyone. Here we are at our campsite. Greg's just sluggishly packing his things in his bag. And yeah, we're about to set off on day 2. Day 1 was very action-packed. Day 2 will be less so, won't it?
I think, well, we hope so.
We hope so, yeah. We've got to get down to the reservoir, which is dried up. We've checked that out, that's not a problem. Then up a bit of forest, and then it's up into the moors for literally 8 miles. And then we're back down into the sort of farmers' fields. We're going to see what progress we've made by the time we get to stash point 2, which is where we were planning to camp, but if we're making really good time, we'll soldier on 3.5 miles to the next really good camp spot. And if we do that, we can shave a whole day off the trip. It's not totally necessary, so we'll see how we go. But yeah, today is just really about making ground, really, and getting towards that halfway point of the trip. The line is, yeah, pretty much there.
Yeah.
Let's do it, man.
Do
Day
it, mate.
2.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
What do you do?
Carrying our stash bag with us with a view to re-stash somewhere a bit more accessible further downhill, we passed through the remaining strips of forest as well as the 2 remaining grassy veins.
Yeah, this is the one where we were going to camp.
Ah, yeah. No, I'm glad we camped where we
No,
went.
so-
It's good.
So,
Rugby alley.
rugby bloody vein.
Next up was the North Third Reservoir, initially one of our most dreaded obstacles due to its worryingly green, marshy, muddy appearance, but upon scouting we were pleasantly surprised to discover that despite lots of heavy rain, the levels were very low, and we could simply stroll straight across.
This could be very good.
We'd be retracing those steps very soon, but first, we still had an awful lot of descending to do.
Yeah, we've got to be careful.
Having this doesn't help.
No.
Well, here we are, the North Third Reservoir, which, as you can see, has receded massively,
Yeah.
to our delight. What were we going to do here, Greg? We were going to get a long paddleboard.
Paddleboard. We could longboard it, to be honest, mate. Now you say that.
It looks potentially like it could be
Lethal, really.
but it's an inch of depression. Lovely place. And if we'd have travelled about 10 metres to the left, I think it would have been a bit trickier.
Yeah. Look at those cliffs.
It did get a bit sludgier in the middle, definitely not longboard territory, but gladly there'd be no 8 AM boot breaches today. And there you have it. That's it. There's a little river down here where we're gonna cook breakfast, wash our pans, brush our teeth. We're gonna stash this somewhere and dart off into the moors.
Ooh. Nice move.
Nice. Just as planned, I filled up our water bottles in Bannockburn, a stream I bet you didn't think you'd heard of, while Greg cracked on with the breakfast. Our aim was to be through the forest and away into the moors by 9:30 to give us a fighting chance of making that 12-mile away camp spot at St Hilda's boarding school. Well, we're all done and dusted here pretty much. Looks like the trees in this next forest are a bit shorter and as a result much harder to move through. But Greg's prepared, aren't you?
So this is the technique that we're going for. Avoid those eyes being poked out.
Right, let's go.
Oh, down there, like that.
And do that? Yeah, no one's coming up here, are they?
See that, are they?
No. Cool.
Okay.
So, with our bags stashed, it was back inside our old friends, the Christmas trees. And for the first time ever, we didn't feel like we were going to have our eyes poked out at any given moment.
Yeah, it feels so much better with the glasses, doesn't it?
It's so good with the glasses, yeah. Nonetheless, though, I'm staying 2 meters behind Greg at all times to avoid twangs to the face. This is exactly the kind of formidable terrain that preceded Greg's episode in Wales too, and he's just battling right through it, unfazed. Is that it?
No. Small clearing.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah.
How much longer?
A bit more. It's 100 meters.
100
do it.
meters? Let's do it. Get it done. Wouldn't be a British straight line mission without one of these woods. I think we might be coming up to the end here. Ah. Oh yes. Right, we are at the moors now. 8 miles, hopefully in 4 or 5 hours. There won't be much by way of juicy action or thrilling shots. Instead, probably a collection of scenic clips set to some incredibly composed electronic music. Let's go. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a leaper, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go for it, mate. Oh, how have you stayed dry? Oh no, my knee. Ah. Okay, we're approaching this farm. I think we just skimmed the right-hand side of it. There's someone there. But again, like we're so remote here that I don't think it's going to be a problem. No. Nice, mate. Scotland flag flying proud. They don't give a. They haven't even looked at us. They just glanced. Couldn't have given less of a shit if they tried. The remote country we were now immersed in felt worlds apart from what we had experienced yesterday. No danger or stress, just a bit of a slog really. In fact, as we started to reach the mossy tufts that lived higher up on the fell after a 2.5 mile steady climb, the legs were beginning to burn. Does take it out of you walking on this spongy ground after a while. I mean, even an animal as dexterous and suited to its environment as a sheep still likes to build a path for itself, but we're not. We're going straight through. The uneven terrain was clearly not going to make for a swift trek over these hills, and high up on the crest of this first one we were able to catch a visual glimpse of just how much more of it there would potentially be. Okay, so we think that today, to get to the stash point, which is the bare minimum of what we have to do, we're going over that far strip of mountain just to the right of Greg. So, lot to do.
This sort of land, mate, doesn't seem unlikely we'll get past the stash, does it?
It does, yeah, at this rate. It's down and then up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Down into a little crevice with a little river in it, and back up again. Hopefully the river's not too bad. Doesn't look too bad, does it?
Nah, I think we can leap it, man.
More worried about the bank the other side.
Yeah.
But had I invited Karma to join us once again?
Oh, it's not a good sort of place for it to land, mate. Come on, Thomas. Lovely, mate.
Oh, he's gone for that. Fair play, mate.
Easy, that one.
That was easier. So it was up again, pretty sharpish, onto the next ridge where we stopped and had some much needed lunch. Right. Right, we've had our lunch swiftly on the top of that ridge there. We've got to go down and up in a big bad way. We have no idea at this point whether we'll make the quick plan. We're just gonna go at a good pace, hope there's not too many serious obstacles that slow us down, and if we get there for 2, half 2, we'll gauge it when we get there. Oh, snow. Huh. Watch this. Oh, 2 secs, mate, just gonna sort the GoPro out. Thankfully, along with the odd patch of snow, came much more even ground, which allowed us to march swiftly on past the halfway point of the moors and down to our first encounter with the Endrick. So down here is our first River Endrick crossing. First of 4, all at very different stages in the river's course. The question is, will we need to take our shoes and socks off? Will it be one of those which will slow us down and impact our plan? The closer we got to the Endrick, the more it looked like it was actually a huge ravine. Oof, mate, I hope that fucking cliff stops. That's high, mate. Looks it from here, from this angle. In the end though, it was fine. Oh mate, what were we worried about? In fact, just to the right of our line, a layer of flat rock just below the surface of the water made for a Jesus-like crossing. Slightly less graceful though would be this next climb.
Get ready for your legs here, mate.
Oh, I know.
It's gonna be a toughie.
A solid 200-metre ascent with the occasional marsh thrown in just to keep us on our toes, and a string of false horizons. Oh, fucking hell. When we did finally reach the top though, the views were totally worth it, in more ways than one. Incredible view of that reservoir, mate.
Oh, man.
Back there.
Like, we got our first view of Loch
Oh.
Lomond over there.
Oh God. Well, yeah, that's a bit more important. Wow, incredible. Feels good to be able to see it, doesn't it?
This is the highest point, basically.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the way then it's rolling up and down, but not really ever higher than this.
Yeah. We can't see the finish line, but we can see the point basically at which we have like 6 miles to go, which is a great feeling.
It's a great feeling, that is, isn't it?
Yeah. Lots to go in between now and then though, so let's carry on. In high spirits. So what exactly did lay between us and that faraway hill? Well, after Stash 2, which it was now looking like we would probably have to camp at, it was into what was basically a 14-mile stretch of rural countryside, mainly consisting of sheep and cattle farms, but there was a lot of other stuff in there too. This is how it looked with the original and most likely plan. First thing tomorrow morning, we passed through these properties, followed by a farm and a larger Endrick. Then we sneaked past this farm, the boarding school, 3 more farms, 2 of which we would be going straight through the middle of before camping in these woods. The next morning, we crossed the now considerably larger River Endrick 2 times, and after a load more fields, it's through the village of Garto Charn, full of properties and stables and the like, and pretty much the last major place where things could go badly wrong people-wise. If we survive that, we head for the sanctuary of the heavily wooded Camp 4, a real milestone at which we could gaze over Loch Lomond and almost taste the victory. In the morning though, there would be the small task of crossing it, 1.5 miles on Callum's 2-person kayak, before negotiating a very tricky looking mangrovey sort of area, which we would need Callum's wetsuits to actually swim through. It was then over the golf course, through the biggest gorse patch I've ever seen, and to our final camp where we could pick the thorns out of our arses and dream about the final day. The final day itself was just a case of walking 6 miles over this forest-littered hill and down to the coast in Blair Vadach, victorious. Between us and Stash 2, however, unexpected cracks were beginning to appear in the landscape and in my planning. Exactly.
Hey, this is actually
Oh shit. Bit of a drop here. But that was just a baby crack. Oh.
Look what we have ahead, mate. This could
Oh
be...
fuck. Okay. Hi, it's 2:30 in the Scottish moors and we've got this little piece to contend with. It may not look that steep looking down on the GoPro, but it's vertical. No, it's just about doable, we think, so we're going to crack on. After you, sir.
After you, Abel. That thing in there.
Oh, it will. Great waterfall.
Waterfall thing down there.
Incredible waterfall. It must be a torrent at times. Oh. Wonderful. Oh my god, mate, that is so steep. Steep, but luckily doable, and a nice little obstacle to overcome on what was a pretty repetitive day. Up next, a grassy brow to remember. This is it, isn't it? This is the last descent. Wow.
I remember coming near here on our scouting trip and
Yeah.
being like, if we can get to here Sunday evening, that seeming like a very, very long shot at that point, given what we had to go through. And we're here.
We're here. Before we descended the 200 metres down to the stash point, there were a couple of steep gradients that I did manage to spot on Google Earth and earmark as potentially dangerous. 3 days ago though, after stashing Stash 2, we ventured halfway up the hill and decided that from where we were standing, they didn't seem too bad. Happily, we were correct in our judgment on that occasion, with both gradients causing us no real issues. However, we could not have been more incorrect in our next one. On our way back down the hill on the day of the stashing, a similar scene to what you can see here, we came across a farmer and his son herding sheep. We exchanged hellos and smiles, and Greg and I continued on our way, commenting on how friendly and relaxed the farmers were in Scotland. By this point, you've all seen the spoiler, and you can probably guess the direction in which this is heading, and we'll get there very soon. Meanwhile, a perky Greg and I are approaching the stash. It's a bit further, isn't it? It's been a while, I can't remember.
Poking out.
Oh, there it is.
Let's see, yeah, everything. Bottles. Bottle. Battery.
Oh, brilliant. And we'll camp just over there, we think.
Yeah.
Just about 10 metres off the line on some flat ground. Right, mate, get to the crest and we'll clock out for the day. Yeah,
Right.
that'll do, mate.
That'll do us. Perfect little camp spot, right on the line.
And that will do us nicely for day 2. Alright, let's see what goodies we've stashed in this cumbersome thing. Yeah, charger for phone, Compeed, good. Some very Greg sort of pants. Bucket loads of sweets, custard creams, enough to sink the Titanic. But more to the point,
Yeah.
Sainsbury's anchovy stuffed olives.
Cannot beat that, can you?
Don't knock it till you've tried it.
Get the passing.
Oh, God. Happy with our spot, which was fairly high up and hidden from the farm below by the trees and the shelf of land we were on, we tucked into our anchovy olives and tuned into another corking sporting fixture. Well, it's another sport-themed camp. Tonight it's a Premier League humdinger, really, which we didn't even know was on, which is Chelsea versus Man United. We're just going to wait an hour or so until it starts to get dark, then we'll set our tent up and make a little fire over there. But yeah, for now we're just chilling. But we weren't chilling for long. 3? Yep, 3 dogs. Gotta be an owner. I'm hoping there's an owner.
Yes.
I mean, what are they doing? Yeah, there's the owner. Okay, that's kind of relieving.
It's the woman, mate.
Oh, yeah. 6. It's an absolute bonanza out there, isn't it?
Mate?
Don't know. I don't suppose she'll care. See, this is why you don't put the tent up and make a fire early, isn't it?
Yeah.
She does run the farm. She's presumably that husband, the wife of the farmer that we saw. She has seen us.
Has she?
I think she's seen us, yeah. Oh, is the husband? She just like signalled to someone then. Well, we'll see what happens. What actually happened next was that one of the dogs sprinted towards us, far too fast for me to grab the camera, stopped right at our feet and barked aggressively at us. A few of the other dogs joined in before all of them were called away by the farmer's wife.
No problem. Have a nice evening.
Okay, didn't get the best of that on camera, but that one dog came bellowing towards us, didn't it?
He really came up with a mean.
I didn't think he was going to stop for a second.
No.
With the power of hindsight, this is the exact point, having just been seen by the farmer's wife, that we should have just packed up our things and gone. But, to be fair, because she, just like her presumed husband 3 days prior, had been so friendly and relaxed with us, we had no reason to believe that we were unwelcome there. So instead, just as the sun began to set over Loch Lomond, we pitched the tent and made ourselves a small, hopefully untraceable fire, and reflected optimistically on our progress so far and position going forward.
Good day. It's a good solid day. I mean, it was what we thought it would be, really. Pretty tricky and marshy along the moors, ups and downs, but ultimately still managing to get to Camp 2 pretty easily.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
end.
And tomorrow, it's a fairly unremarkable day. There are obstacles, there are farms, there are rivers, there are people's back gardens, but yeah, it shouldn't be too much of a challenge. We should get through it and get over the halfway point and beyond. Yeah, bring it on. See you in the morning. That was supposed to be the final clip of the day, but at 7:30 p.m. we heard that dreaded sound once again.
Hi.
Is this unacceptable?
Where are you guys from?
It's not unacceptable, sorry, mate. Well, basically, it's a bit of a bizarre story, but essentially we're on an expedition, and we're aiming to be the first people to cross Scotland in a completely straight line. So it's a Guinness World Record attempt.
Right.
And now this is our second night, so we've come down over the moors today, so we kind of did the whole moors.
We're halfway through.
We're halfway through, we're heading towards Loch Lomond, and obviously we have to stick fairly close to the line, so we hope that this might be okay for us to
What you should have done was come first of all to the farm and asked.
Of course, we weren't too sure who actually was owning this.
Yeah, we
land.
thought this is like sort of natural land.
No, this is we farm this land, and obviously with COVID is the next thing. That's why I asked you where you're from. You obviously come from down south somewhere.
Of course, yeah, I'm from Wales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not wanting to be awkward.
No,
I understand, mate.
About the job, but you can see, we live in an isolated place.
Yes.
Sure.
I can see what you're doing, but I am going to have to, I don't know, obviously you've set up your camp tonight, and if it was me who was doing it, I would have asked the farmer, look, we're coming on your land, we're going to set up a tent. This is me coming to your garden and setting my tent up in your garden, saying I'm walking a straight line across Wales.
Sure.
Yeah.
That would be the right thing to do, I know, but it's just that if someone said no to us, then we would like scupper the... So we're being a bit cheeky, I know, but...
Yeah, and you can see that I'd be bound to be a bit annoyed.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
no,
I totally understand.
Definitely.
I totally understand.
Totally understand that, yeah.
And I don't want to be a pain in the ass, and I don't want to stop, but we're just right bang on the mouth of lambing. The sheep are in tonight to be sorted out. They'll be out here in the morning after that. And I just don't, my worry is that someone brings COVID and I get sick, and if I get sick at lambing time, I am in serious shit.
Yes.
Sure.
I can see exactly what you're doing,
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
I would have appreciated someone to say to me, even the other day, like whenever I was working at the sheep and you went past me,
Yeah.
I would have appreciated if you'd have said, we're coming back
Yeah.
tomorrow
Yeah,
to
that
do
would-
this walk.
Yeah.
You know, then we could have looked at it from there, but just right now,
Definitely.
you know, I'm seriously pissed off with it.
Yeah.
Fair enough,
I'm
fair
very
enough.
sorry. No, you're dead right. Back then would have been an ideal opportunity, to be honest, to let you know.
Yeah.
The one thing I will ask you, like, I could say to you, look, pack your kit up and get
Yeah.
out of sight.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm
No,
not going to
so-
do that now. I'm going to be reasonable about this.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much.
If you
Thank
can
you.
not come down through our yard.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going
Yeah, we're
that
actually
into
going
those woods
over
to
over
the
here,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and as I say,
Put
Yeah,
that
we'll
out.
put that out.
no, well, I'm not. Look, you need to just walk away when you leave tomorrow. If you can make sure it's out so it's this
Oh,
doesn't all catch fire.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Well, we were going to cover it with like,
Yeah.
well,
I'm trying to be as reasonable as I
No,
possibly
you
can.
really are.
You've been very
you're being
reasonable,
very
to be
reasonable,
honest.
to be honest. Yeah.
we totally understand.
Yeah.
so.
Okay,
Yeah.
no bother. I'll
Yeah.
leave you to it.
Thank you
Thanks
so
a lot,
much,
mate.
mate. Thank you.
Thank you, really
Thanks a lot.
appreciate it. Wow.
I thought that was kind of interesting.
So it turns out, yeah, this was pretty hot.
This was as hot as it gets, I think. I don't think we've ever had a camp spot where someone's come up in the quad in the night.
No, we've never had that before, and we didn't for 1 minute. I mean, I'm more cautious than Greg, but I didn't think that would happen here,
No.
especially after the wife waved at us earlier.
Yeah.
But he is seriously ticked off.
He was ticked off, wasn't he?
Yeah, but
But-
reasonable though, as well in the end.
And it also didn't even have a Scottish accent. No.
No, he seemed to be Northern Irish,
Yeah.
but wow, I feel kind of bad. But
Yeah.
all of this does make it hotter now for future farms, because I think people are a bit para about COVID. Even though we know we haven't got it, but it to them, they don't know that.
No.
It does make the future farm crossings a bit different
Yeah.
to what we thought. Anyway, we'll talk about it in the morning. We got away with it. That was definitely supposed to be the final clip of the day. But here's the killer, ladies and gents. Our ordeal was far from over. Roughly an hour and a half after our encounter with the farmer, our senses were alerted again. This time, instead of the abrupt onslaught of an engine and headlights, it was faint men's voices and what looked like handheld torchlight making its way slowly but surely up the same path as the farmer's wife had used. Two people over there. What are they doing up here at this time?
They're coming.
At the time, we really weren't sure who it could be. Did the farmer have a change of heart and send two blokes up to remove us? Or was it just locals on a nighttime trek? Both seemed unlikely, but whoever they were, they had spotted our fire.
They are. Okay, they're coming down.
The men were now heading straight for us, but it wasn't until they were about 10 metres away that we realised who it was. And it was probably the worst outcome possible.
Policeman.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
You
okay?
We've spoke to the farmer.
Yep, he still phoned us though.
Ah, right,
Alright.
okay.
Why are you guys here?
I'll cut to the chase. We are attempting to cross Scotland in a completely straight line.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
To be the first people to ever do that.
So Guinness
I have-
World Record attempt.
Yeah,
basically.
I have a YouTube channel. I've walked. I'll stand up. I've walked across Wales in a straight line, and Norway. I know it's a bit of a mad idea.
Well, given it's a lockdown in Scotland just now,
Yeah.
it's not just mad, it's illegal.
Yeah.
So where you came from?
Where are we from?
Yeah.
I'm from Birmingham.
I'm
He's
from Wales.
Wales.
Okay, so again, we go back to this is illegal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how did we get up to Scotland and when did we arrive?
I
Yeah.
got rented a car, and we drove up, and well, we started
Yeah.
we're halfway through.
We're halfway through now.
Here we come
essentially.
from just
Yeah.
south of Stirling, and we're
Yeah.
going over to
Loch
beyond
Lomond.
like towards Fast Lane. So
Yeah.
we're halfway through.
Yeah.
We know it's cheeky, but we thought, look, we're not going to come into contact with anyone, and
We tried to keep as far as where.
You do realise though that as Scottish people, we're not allowed to cross the border into England.
Yeah, no, granted.
But you guys have decided to come the opposite way.
Yes.
So we are looking at fines.
Right.
Plus the fact you didn't speak to the farmer in advance, you know, you
I
kind of
know.
pissed him off
So,
a wee bit. You know.
another question is,
we understand why he's pissed off. Totally.
We understand. We had a chat with him here.
another question is, you were here 2 days ago. So if you're walking in a straight line, how do you end up back here 2 days later?
No, that's because we have to look at the possible points of concern along the way. So, for example, there's ridges up there, which we weren't sure how steep they were going to be. So we came here to do a reconnaissance, so to speak, to look and say, is it actually like a makeable ridge
Right,
to come
okay.
down?
Can I suggest then
Yes.
that you stay here tonight,
Yeah.
Right.
then you pack up and go back home,
Right. Okay.
because you're going to get stopped by the police again. Obviously, that's somebody that's phoned in. How long have you been up in Scotland?
Like I said, we
4
came on.
days.
Yeah.
Technically, that's more than a fine then. That's been reported to the Procurator Fiscal directly for a culpable necklace. If you've been here for 4 days, it's not just a day visit, you know.
And you're travelling through council district there as well, which again, people of Scotland aren't allowed to do. I can't leave the area of Stirling Council.
No.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, because you are going to get hit with, as my colleague says, a report to the fiscal, which will require you to attend at a court at a future date in relation to this. Now, this could come into lambing season just now.
Yes.
You've picked the wrong time to do anything like this.
Yes. Yeah.
It's tough because we have to do. I can't do it in the summer because the brambles and the stinging nettles and the hay fever and the midges. So that's why I try and do them in the winter. But yeah, it's
No,
just
I
bad
appreciate
timing.
that. And see, had it been this time last year,
Would have been fine.
it would have been fine. But just now we are in the current situation that we are in the lockdown.
Yeah, the farmer wouldn't have phoned us, he'll be pissed off. He wouldn't have bothered us with it if it was this time last year.
No,
No,
of
no,
course.
I know,
It's
I know.
because of what it is. now.
Aye.
From a moral point of view, we decided, look, it's okay. But to be honest, we didn't think we'd see this many people. We
Yeah,
bumped
to
into
be
a
honest with you, see if you're heading towards kind of Loch Lomond and all that,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're going to do nothing but bump into people.
yeah.
What we'll do is we'll get your details anyway, lads.
Okay.
I would suggest that you camp here tonight because there's obviously nowhere you can go tonight. You pack up in the morning,
Yeah.
keep well away from that farm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we
and
will,
you head
yeah.
back home
Yes.
because they're going to get phone calls in about you,
Yes.
undoubtedly.
We
Yes.
will. We
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't want to do this if we're going to be pissing off people. And
Yeah.
What's your name, bud?
My name's Greg.
I can't really show most of the footage from this point on as Greg and I tell our respective coppers our personal details, but during this time we each had more of a chance to really explain the whole idea of the mission in more detail and how for me personally it was a big part of my channel and my career. Ultimately that made little difference to proceedings, but they were intrigued by the concept of what we were doing and did warm to us over time. In fact, it wasn't long before I was being teased about England's recent losses in the rugby.
I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
he was like,
You on about rugby?
Yeah.
we move on to rugby.
We'll just not mention that,
Yeah.
It's not been a good season for England.
No.
In the end, all threats of fines and court cases were dropped, and we ended on almost ridiculously good terms.
See, as opposed to GeoWizard, it'll be 2 cops going for a hike.
You've got beaten us to do.
Cheers, lads.
Thanks, officers.
Bye. Bye.
The instruction was clear though. We had to piss off home, and it didn't take long for the reality of that to sink in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to sink
Starting
in
to
now
sink
that
in now that-
we failed.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Bad
timing.
Bad time. And we knew that coming in. We knew that it wasn't the...
We did, but not to this extent.
We didn't think we'd be seeing people to this
No.
extent for a start.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you in the morning, guys.
We'll have some more thoughts then, I think, won't
Yeah, we will. See you there.
In the morning, I rose early to the breathtaking and dangerously enticing sight of the mist-shrouded valley that awaited us and shared my updated thoughts. Thoughts this morning personally before Greg gets up. Part of me wants to carry on, despite all of that, just because, you know, the police are always going to exaggerate. They're always going to paint this picture that you're just going to get caught again inevitably, but they're going to say that. And part of me just wants to go for it and thinks that we'll be fine. And that this was just a clumsy one-off. Then the sensible part of me says, no, there are many farmsteads that we go straight through, back gardens that we'd have to skirt round, and maybe it's not the right thing to do morally at this time. Either way, I can't please everyone. There will be some of you who will want me to carry on and you'll be disappointed. It's another failure. But I think most of you will agree that, as the coppers said, annoyingly, we just got the wrong time. As the morning progressed and the mist receded down the valley, we pondered more over the big decision, but ultimately concluded that the many cons of continuing now far outweighed the pros. Aside from all the COVID stuff, one of the main things that cemented it for us was the fact that not only were we under strict orders from the police, whom we actually have a lot of respect for, but we actually had a mutual agreement with them. They had trusted us to go home, and we had given them our word. As a result, we don't get fined or go to court, and they can go off and fight proper crime. And if we carried on now and got caught again, not only would we be in deep shit, which Greg couldn't afford to risk being in anyway with his new career, but the coppers would probably be in trouble with their superiors too for letting us go. Don't get me wrong, we were both absolutely gutted. The amount of preparation we had put into this trip was ridiculous, and we wanted it so bad, and everything was lined up for victory. So we were gutted. But we took some comfort in knowing that by respecting the farmers, respecting the police, sticking to our word and setting a good rather than a bad example to anyone watching, we'd done the right thing. As for the farmer, we'll never quite know why he chose to handle things the way he did. Maybe he didn't 100% believe our story. Maybe he found me on YouTube after he spoke to us and changed his mind, or maybe his intention all along was to put an end to our trip. Whatever it was, if you're out there, Mr. Farmer, we forgive you, and we respect your decision. At the end of the day, that farm is that man's livelihood, and any farmer worth his salt would do whatever they felt necessary to protect it. What was next for me and Greg then? Well, firstly, we had another full day ahead of us collecting all the used and unused stash bags.
One down.
It was a bit heartbreaking, to be honest, particularly when we ventured out to the glorious Loch Lomond camp and pictured how we would have felt having reached that point.
Fuck me, that is still.
But we tried our best to look at the many positives. We did have an unforgettable first day and all the incredible footage that went with it. And we did almost reach the halfway point of the mission without deviating more than 25 metres. In a way, that does make it even more heartbreaking that we didn't reach the end, but nonetheless, our tightness to the line here is something to really be proud of. Maximum deviation, 14 metres at Ockhill View. Again though, testament to the meticulous planning, something I'll discuss further in the line review video, along with the Burdell score, a new, more accurate way of judging the success of a straight line mission that I'll now be using to complement the traditional gold, silver, platinum system. So do tune into that video to see all that nerdy stuff, and don't forget all the bonus footage for this trip is on the $1 Patreon page. For now though, having just collected our final stash bag and almost been seen by the police at our final hedgerow.
Police!
There was just one last thing to do. See if our trusty ladder still hadn't been nicked by a bloke called Ross.
Would like it back because it did cost 100 quid.
Don't think it is.
I doubt it's in the same position.
Well, the mat's up there, but the ladder is gone.
And on that bitter note, it's another regretfully premature goodbye from me, and especially Greg, who despite well and truly taming his condition, still needs to taste straight line victory. Maybe we'll return to Scotland soon to try a different line and not in a pandemic. Or maybe we'll return to Wales and conquer that once and for all instead. I also have a couple of slightly more exotic straight line missions planned for the near future, but until then, take care and thanks so much for watching.
Wild the chief, the sunshine on me. Oh, thank him for his work.
You're a bird in my bed.